Hi, my name is Alexandria, and the title of my mini activity is called Reading Fluency and Comprehension Practice with the story Max and the Rainbow. Through this activity, students will be able to read the entire passage and identify the important information, key details, and be able to answer 4 comprehension questions. Through this, students will be able to, like I said, strengthen their comprehension skills and strengthen their fluency skills. So the first couple of things that I will need are dry erase markers. I'm going to need a set of 5 since I'm working with 5 students per rotation. So in my small group, there will be 5 students at a time. We'll need 5 dry erase markers, and we will need 5 erasers, just whiteboard erasers. And then I'll need my printout. There should be enough for each student, but they are going to be placed in a clear sheet. So I'll also need 5 clear sheets, probably a couple of extra just in case. You always want to have a couple extra on hand. So I decided that this would work best if I used this worksheet in a clear sheet instead of printing out 40, however many students there are in general in total that I'll be working with throughout the day in rotations. Instead of printing out that many pages, it's easier to just have them in a clear sheet, let them mark them up, mark up the text with the whiteboard marker and circle and work on these comprehension questions with a whiteboard marker. And then the last material that is optional is an anchor chart. I made an anchor chart for decoding strategies, and it lists 4 quick strategies. They are cross-check, stretch it out, chunk it up, and cover it up. And these are just quick little decoding strategies that can help students while they're reading independently. There is a section where they'll have to read slightly independently. This just helps them if they come across a word they don't know, go over these quick things and see if they can kind of figure it out. And if they can't, that's okay. They can raise their hand and I can offer them additional support. But this is just a really good thing to help them work on that piece of independence. Okay, so for my instructions, I will have students come and sit down and I will introduce the story to them. I will introduce the title, which is called Max and the Rainbow, and I'll kind of start a conversation about rainbows and friendships and just kind of get open conversation and dialogue going on so that students are excited about what we're going to read. They're a little bit engaged and it's just kind of setting the scene. So we'll do that, and then I will let them know that they're going to read it independently, but I will kind of pop by and say, hey, can you read out loud for me for a little bit? And they'll read maybe a part of the story for me. Since this is a mini lesson, I won't have time to listen to each individual student read the entire passage, but I will be able to listen to them read a little bit of it, and that kind of just gives me an idea of where they're at fluency wise, and kind of just hear any struggles or any achievements I hear. Then I'll go through and listen to each student, and once they have finished and we've all finished the story, we will answer the 4 questions at the end to check for comprehension. So yeah. Next, my accommodations I would have to make for my student. I have one student who has autism, and so sometimes distractions are a challenge that they face. Distractions can be very challenging, especially when you're reading a passage that is pretty long. Sometimes it gets to be a lot when you hear other voices and you just have so much in front of you. So in order to cut down on distractions, I would first make sure that the text is large enough for them, and I would eliminate this bank of questions and have that on a separate sheet for them, just so that they have just the story in front of them that they can focus on. I will also make sure that the story is to their reading level. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but this is going to be geared towards, it can be geared towards 2nd or 3rd graders because these stories come in different reading levels. This specific group I'll be working with is 3rd grade, but I might have to cut down a little bit for this specific student who needs accommodations, and I might switch to a lower reading level, and that's okay. That's just so that they feel confident reading independently while we're working in these small groups. They still have the same information, just words are a little bit different. They're easier to decode, certain things like that. I also really love that the different levels of the stories are only pretty much the person leading the group leader, the teacher, the instructor, they are the only ones who know of the levels because they have these little discrete codes right here. So this one is a star, maybe this one is more geared towards specific third grade, but maybe there's one with an apple and that one is geared on a lower end of the level, reading level, which is great, and we are able to kind of make it work for what we need, what our students need. And then next, for the other accommodation, I would really lean on my anchor charts. I think students can become very frustrated when they're trying to decode a word and the person who's supporting them, the teacher, the instructor, the group leader, is busy with another student. It's really frustrating when you really want to know that, or you really want to get through this word. You're stuck, you don't want to wait for so long, you have your hand raised. So referring to the anchor chart is really helpful. They're able to kind of go through this checklist of things and see if they can figure this word out for themselves. It gives them that little extra layer of support that I think is really beneficial. And finally, I picked this activity because I think it's amazing for students to be able to practice these comprehension skills. It's a very tricky piece of the puzzle for students to just get really good at and be really confident in. So this practice just helps them, give them that extra layer of confidence and be able to read stories on their own and be able to identify those important ideas and key information, and yeah, really work on their comprehension skills. Thank you.